Search for a suspect. RCMP look for the Pelican Narrows shooter as the community calls for help. Headed home, some wildfire evacuees return to their communities, but officials warn the season is still early. And the Saskatchewan woman with a notable talent, how she's striking a chord with audiences with each performance.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the latest in this week's fatal shooting in Pelican Narrows. RCMP are again looking for a suspect after another person taken into custody was released. It comes as community leaders are calling for help as violence in the area has risen almost 50% in the last 10 years. Jasmine Pelche reports.
RCMP are still looking for the suspect while community leaders continue to call for government assistance following Monday's shooting death in Pelican Narrows.
What happened on Monday is not who we are. This is being done to us by organized crime, addictions, by decades of neglect. Our community showed up, our security showed up, our health staff showed up, and this is who we are.
Wednesday afternoon, the RCMP released video of a male suspect in the shooting that left one dead and one injured. A previous suspect has been released without charges.
I can't speculate again the reasons why they released the suspects, but it's very disheartening to know and very troublesome for our community while they're in a state of high alert, right? They're traumatized with the incidents that happened.
The deceased has been identified as a 28-year-old woman, and the injured victim is an adult male, now in non-life-threatening condition. Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation has identified both victims as band members from Pelican Narrows. RCMP believed there was an altercation at a residence between individuals who knew each other. RCMP believed the woman was injured at a residence, and minutes later, the male victim was injured on a road near the health clinic. The most recent shooting took place in the days following a visit from the Minister of Community Safety. The visit was in response to pleas from the community following a different homicide in Pelican Narrows several weeks earlier. Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation says it continues to speak with the RCMP, the province, and the federal government about filling vacant RCMP positions in Pelican Narrows. Pelican Narrows is taking steps to curb criminal activity with restrictions on motorized vehicles, as the community hopes for an end to the rising violence. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
To the wildfire front now. While some are returning home after evacuating, others are expressing concern over what the next few months would look like as wildfires settle into Saskatchewan. Hallie Mandrick with those details.
Nathan Peters is entering his fourth wildfire season, managing his family's logging company, and he says the challenges become larger each year.
The instability. You plan your operations based on areas and public consultation. There's a lot of hoops to go through, and it's not a quick process. It takes time. So you start doing it, and then each year it seems like fire season impacts things more.
According to the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency, the lobstick fire impacting Peters was last reported to be 80% contained, and all evacuation orders in the area have been lifted. Additionally, those from Red Earth Cree Nation who had to evacuate due to the Cayford fire are now able to return home, and the provincial fire ban was lifted. While Wednesday offered some good news for those in the impacted areas, officials warn that wildfire season is still in the early stages.
It looks like it's going to be hot and dry, so which is a concern for us, which means more wildfires and also aggressive wildfires. So we'll be monitoring and looking at our forecast quite regularly, which we always do anyway, but that's definitely on our radar.
For Peters, he's seen firsthand the community effort that goes into this time of year.
The local fire departments and the volunteer effort, it was phenomenal. I've seen it personally on one front. I was out helping for 2.5, 3 days with a trailer and water totes and a pump and fire hose that we keep for our forestry operations.
While the community is remaining strong, Peters is anxiously waiting to see if any recommendations in the independent review report on the 2025 wildfires, previously commissioned by the province, will provide some guidance to help mitigate the damage.
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody that doesn't believe fire is a natural part of the landscape, and we are going to lose value every year, no matter what we do. But does it have to be to this scale?
According to the province, the report, along with the government's response, will be released publicly in the coming weeks. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Community organizations working in Saskatoon's core neighborhoods say a cut in funding is leaving Saskatoon's most vulnerable people thirsty when they need it the most. Keenan Sorokon explains.
Last summer, roughly 100 people were visiting Station 20 West every day to get out of the heat and quench their thirst with a bottle of water. And it wasn't until this past April, organizers learned City Council voted to eliminate $50,000 to fund the bottled water distribution as part of a larger item during budget deliberations. Now, 400 to 450 people a day are coming through the doors, and organizers aren't sure how they'll manage when the next heat wave arrives.
We were just left with the idea that none of us could resource it because we're constantly expected to pick up the slack when government decides to make a decision unilaterally to cut resources.
Bottled water isn't the only option. There are 2 bottle filling stations in Pleasant Hill, one in front of the Saskatoon Community Clinic and another at the Central Urban Métis Federation Incorporated building. But Christopherson Cote says homeless people aren't carrying refillable bottles around, and offering a bottle of water is an easy way to de-escalate a potentially dangerous situation.
So they've cut the water distribution and told us to just lean into the other infrastructure, but there's no increase in capacity for the other infrastructure, but there's 4 times more people needing access to service.
At a city committee meeting last month, administration said the city has only been funding bottled water handouts for a few years, and it was not included in any larger program.
If we didn't have the budget for it, it wasn't a service that we have built into any other operations.
Station 20 West is accepting donations of bottled water to try and help meet the demand this summer. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, Jeff, the temperature is supposed to rise, but not as hot as we saw last week.
Not nearly as hot as that, and temperatures will be certainly above seasonal, no question about it, Chantel. But on the bright side, things are calming down, not only on the temperature side of things compared to earlier in the week, but this system is starting to decay that low and is making its way into Manitoba and northwestern Ontario. But we'll talk about those specific numbers a little later on.
2 men on trial for human trafficking will have to wait until August to hear their fate. The judge has reserved his decision after lawyers made closing arguments today. CTV's Stacey Hine has the details from Saskatoon Provincial Court.
Mohammed Massoum and Sohail Haider walk into Saskatoon Provincial Court as closing arguments get underway in their human trafficking trial. RCMP charged the men in 2023 with trafficking a Bangladeshi woman. She cannot be named due to a publication ban. Massoum is also charged with 3 counts of sexual assault. Court heard the woman came to Canada on a visitor visa and was staying in Toronto when she got a job at Haider's restaurant in Gull Lake. She was later transferred to Massoum's restaurant in Tisdale and then to another restaurant operated by Haider in Elrose before being taken to a shelter. The Crown argued the woman worked 12-hour days with little or no pay, while the accused benefited from cheap labor. The Crown says the men had control over her employment, housing, and immigration status, and that she endured months of psychological harm and isolation. Haider's lawyer argued the woman had access to her phone, was free to come and go as she pleased, and was not helpless. He said she worked for the Bangladesh government, held 2 master's degrees, and was well-traveled. Massoum's lawyer challenged the woman's credibility, arguing she came to Canada hoping to stay long-term and was not honest with the federal government when applying for a visitor visa. The defense argued the woman made up the allegations so she could stay in Canada, but the Crown said the woman provided specific details and timelines, with 4 witnesses corroborating her account. The Crown also argued human trafficking can take many forms and is not limited to situations where someone is physically confined or restrained. The judge has reserved his decision until August 7th. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A 27-year-old man will spend 13 years behind bars for a fatal shooting at a Saskatoon motel. 20-year-old Matthew Brabant was shot at the Riviera Motor Inn on Avenue B South during the May-long weekend of last year. He later died in hospital. Lawrence Sopikawoo pleaded guilty to manslaughter with a firearm as well as weapon and probation-related offenses. A judge sentenced him to 13 years in prison. Concern is again being raised about a policy change in Saskatchewan's $10 a day daycare. It caps funding for part-time and casual enrollment. Donovan Mace on how it's impacting some parents in the province.
I have no maternity leave left.
Caitlin Gibson and her husband recently moved to Saskatchewan from Ontario. And after having a son 16 months ago, she returned to work but faced significant childcare challenges.
I ultimately had to quit because we could not access reliable full-time childcare.
The province's new agreement to continue $10 a day childcare came into effect April 1st. It also expands age eligibility to children who are 6 years old.
It leaves us no choice but to put that pressure back on parents.
Now providers are sounding the alarm about nearing changes to part-time and casual spaces, saying the province is cutting their funding.
It's no longer $10 a day childcare. If parents are now paying hundreds of dollars more for administration fees and extended hours fees and fundraising fees and all these other fees.
But the province says the opposite is happening.
We are not discontinuing part-time spaces.
As the change to the policy caps funding to a center's licensed spaces instead of the total number of children enrolled, which the ministry says will allow more daycares to enter the program.
A 70 space center can have 70 children every day, but they don't need to be the same 70 children if they're having part-time kids come in. But we will fully fund them for 70 children.
The NDP is calling on the provincial government to reverse course on the policy change before it's implemented.
Might be the best deal that he could come up with, but it certainly isn't the best deal for the parents or the providers or the economies in small towns.
They are not hiring additional staff. They're not feeding 2 children, and they don't have any additional occupancy costs. So we are fully funding that space.
The new policy is set to come into effect July 1st. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has paused its proposed reporting requirements on movement for cattle and bison. The current requirements for cattle and bison require the animals to have an RFID tag to track where they are raised. But the proposed new regulations would see the animals tracked everywhere they go throughout their life cycle. It's something the Saskatchewan Cattle Association says would be a burden for producers.
We went about the province and had town hall meetings. And it was pretty clear from our producers that they did not want to see the proposed regulations going forward. We relayed that message to the Canadian Cattle Association as well as CFIA. And so we were grateful of the announcement they come with yesterday.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says it will continue to work with cattle and livestock industries to come up with future plans aimed at strengthening the country's livestock traceability program. The city of Warman has dedicated a day to the man the community is named after. And as CTV's Laura Woodward reports, his great-grandchildren were there to witness it.
I, Gary Philipchuk, Mayor of the City of Warman, do declare to proclaim May 29th as Cy Warman Heritage Day in the City of Warman.
A proclamation dedicating an official day to the man the city is named after, Cy Warman. He was an American writer, journalist, and poet whose work chronicling the railway helped put the area on the map. In 1905, the community of Diamond was renamed Warman in his honor. More than 120 years later, his family is here from different parts of the United States for a family reunion.
What's it like to see your last name everywhere?
It is so cool. We were driving up here from Saskatoon and, I'm in the front seat and they're like, there's another sign. I'm not taking a picture of every, highway sign that says Warman.
Christine Warman organized the family reunion after the death of her husband Donald, a grandson of Cy.
So this is Dana Cy, which is my husband's father, and then Bob, and then Brian. I think I just felt very badly that Donald never got here and before he passed away, and I really didn't want the kids to miss out on that. And I wanted everybody to come together and just be able to experience this and have memories that are going to last a lifetime.
To mark the occasion, Mayor Gary Philipchuk presented Christine Warman with a Warman Wolverines hockey jersey.
She gave us a memory that I'll never forget being here.
But history is important. It's important to me. As the older I get, the more I care about things like that. The more I kind of want to search for the answers behind things.
And after spending a day exploring landmarks, they left with memories and a connection to the city bearing their family name. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Warman.
Celebrations are underway on campus this week for spring convocation.
Spencer Posbeck.
This afternoon, students in the College of Agriculture and Bioresources and the Western College of Veterinary Medicine walked across the stage to mark their accomplishments. The university says this spring, 3,976 students will receive their degrees, certificates, and diplomas. Spring convocation started Monday and runs until Friday. This is the first convocation ceremony for President Vince Bruni Bossio, who was installed as the 12th president earlier this week. Still to come, we check in with Saskatchewan's oil and gas industry. Also, Donald Trump's new stance on tariffs. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. There is strong optimism at this year's Saskatchewan Oil and Gas Show in Weyburn. High prices have prompted renewed activity in the oil patch. It comes as the provincial government nears the target date for a 25% increase in oil production. Wayne Mantika reports.
It's a good time for the petroleum industry as drilling rigs tower over the Saskatchewan Oil and Gas Show in Weyburn.
And I think there's a lot of optimism, and hopefully, especially with the Saskatchewan government being very supportive of our industry, I think that's great for everybody here.
Strong prices come as the province works toward an ambitious goal of increasing crude production by 25% to 600,000 barrels a day.
But indications are positive, and I haven't been able to say that for a very long time.
The target date of 2030 is drawing near.
We have an opportunity to take our oil production from what it is today to something far beyond what we even ever thought it could be.
Each year, the Weyburn Show inducts a group of longtime industry leaders into a Hall of Fame. This year, the next generation was also present, the first students to complete oil and gas industry classes in high school.
Getting to go where nobody else gets to go is kind of just, kind of bonus, and you get to meet all the nice operators. Like, everybody's super nice, hardworking, and it kind of just inspires you.
Oil and gas is known for being a highly cyclical industry. Current high prices are prompting a strong sense of optimism at this year's show. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Weyburn.
The Trump administration is taking a new approach to global tariffs after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down previous ones earlier this year. The focus now is on curbing imports made with forced labor and a proposed new 10% tariff on Canada and other trading partners who allegedly failed to comply. CTV's Abigail Beeman now on the shifting goalposts on trade.
Hello. Just hours after the U.S.-Canada trade minister said he had a positive meeting with Jamieson Greer, Greer's office said Canada is among the countries that could be hit with a new 10% tariff for failing to take action on forced labor. The failure of our most important trading partners to address the importation of goods made with forced labor is unacceptable. This creates a dynamic where American workers are forced to compete globally on an unlevel playing field, Greer said.
This is not a surprise.
The Prime Minister pointed out the vast majority of goods fall under the Canada-U.S.-Mexico free trade deal and won't be impacted. He says Canada supports the overall objective.
We made some changes earlier this year on things that candidly were not as effective, so there's ways we can change things legislatively. We'll be proposing that to the House in the coming weeks.
LeBlanc wouldn't answer whether he and Greer discussed Canada's move to allow some Chinese EVs into the market.
We don't discuss publicly the content of private conversations or private discussions.
U.S.-Canada expert Christopher Sands says the U.S. is intentionally moving some trade irritants outside CUSMA.
The good news is that might mean the USMCA could move as far as renewal, or that the negotiations could be more constructive going forward. The bad news is this is designed to keep the U.S. with leverage, even if we renew USMCA, because we have the other issues that we could use to impose tariffs on Canada.
Now, these tariffs aren't in place just yet. Experts say important to point out there is a process. The USTR will hold hearings about them July 7th. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
Ottawa is demanding the CRTC review a recent decision that could lead to Canadians paying more for streaming services, one that has become a trade irritant for the U.S. Last month, the CRTC announced that large foreign streaming services would have to spend more of Canadian revenues on Canadian programming. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver now with what the government has to say about the matter.
The federal government appears to be backing away from its fight to force streaming giants to pay more for Canadian content, one day after what Canada called positive trade talks in Washington.
It's no secret to anyone that's been paying any attention to this that the USTR has identified these issues as a trade issue. It would be disingenuous to suggest that this is the single issue. The reality is we're impatient to make sure that the sector stays vital and stays supported.
Last month, the CRTC announced it was tripling the amount companies like Netflix and Disney had to pay for Canadian content, increasing fees from 5% of their Canadian revenue to 15%, a move the Conservatives strongly opposed.
When we debated this in the House of Commons, the Liberals faux-pas us. They made it sound like it was no big deal, that this tax was being widely accepted. That's not true.
Days after saying they couldn't act, Ottawa is now asking the CRTC to review that decision, saying it could increase costs for consumers.
It's actually good to see the government admitting that some of their the choices that they've made in terms of the legislation, in terms of the regulations, are actually going to have downstream impacts on consumers.
But many experts say it's about more than affordability. It's about appeasing the Americans who have repeatedly called the Online Streaming Act a trade irritant.
The CRTC's move was largely seen as provocative, an annoyance, an irritant to those trade negotiations. And so essentially what the federal government is doing is removing that annoyance from the playing field.
The streaming companies' fees were supposed to help Canadian producers, but no money has ever gone out. It's all been tied up in the courts. To help that industry, the Canadian government today announced a $600 million investment. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Well, Jeff, we saw a little bit of rain today.
A little bit of rain falling right now in Saskatoon. But the good news is, as we make our way into the next few days, well, we've got ourselves a bit of a calming down situation. I know we had some hot days, and then, of course, we had the rounds of rain, and that system is continuing to degrade and move off to the east. But we'll talk about that in a bit. So some light showers right now in Saskatoon, 13 degrees, and it's a bit on the breezy side right now. Cloudy in Prince Albert, 12 degrees, winds out of the northeast to 20, and not quite as breezy in the Battlefords, where it's 17 degrees right now. The almanac for Saskatoon, a daytime high of 17, and that was in the mid-afternoon. Temperatures have been dropping since then. 21 degrees in would be typical for this time of year. 36, that was the record in 1988. Not in jeopardy today, that's for sure. And it was a triple-headed tie here. -1 in 1910, 19, and 1921, and -1 degree, so a triple-way tie there. Sun came up at 4:50. It's going to go down at 9:20.
Coming up, a Saskatchewan woman keying up audiences, the notable experience she's offering them as she plays with her band.
Is there something in the water in Prince Albert? Thursday on Your Morning, why PA may soon start testing their water for drugs and other substances.
All right, time to take a look at the live lens of Skycam. And as I mentioned, it's raining right now in Saskatoon. You can certainly see that right through the lens. A few breaks in the clouds, but it's gray, and that cloud is moving fairly quickly along. So still some rainy circumstances in and around Saskatoon. I don't expect it to last that long. But let's take a look at our system, our satellite and radar shot here. And there's that low, that decaying low, as I call it. It is continuing to make its way eastward, impacting particularly Manitoba again today, into parts of northwestern Ontario, but starting to leave Saskatchewan. In behind it, this system may actually bring us a little bit of active weather for southwestern Saskatchewan, but we'll have to wait and see on that. And that's a tomorrow problem. So 13 in Saskatoon. Prince Albert is at 12 and 17 in the Battlefords. And as you can see, still some light showers in Saskatoon. The hot spot in the province, Estevan at 21 degrees. Collins Bay, the cold spot, -3. Yesterday, Collins Bay was the cold spot as well at 5 on the plus side. So the real drop in temperatures for northern Saskatchewan. overnight. 12 degrees in Lloydminster, 14 in Swift Current, 17 in Regina, and 18 degrees in Yorkton and Estevan right now. Into central parts of the province, temperatures ranging from 10 degrees in Melfort up to 17 in a number of communities. It's 16 in Wynyard, 11 in Nipawin and Hudson Bay, 15 in Meadow Lake. Up north, 20 in Stony Rapids, 17 in Collins Bay, 15 in South End, Sandy Bay Island Falls and Key Lake, and La Ronge, 16 in Buffalo Narrows. And down south, temperatures ranging from 12 degrees. That's in East End. It does get as warm as 19 in Carlisle, 18 in Melville, 17 in a few other locations, 15 in Outlook and Leader, and in Weyburn. Now on to our futurecast. So as you can see, the computer modeling indicating that active weather that's been hanging around moves off to northwestern Ontario. But in its wake, I should say, we do have a little bit of a line of storms that looks like it's going to be scattered in nature, but still impacting parts of southwestern Saskatchewan as we make our way into Thursday. Temperatures of around 21 or 22 degrees with cloudy or mainly cloudy skies for northern Saskatchewan. A similar temperature pattern for west central Saskatchewan, and sky conditions similar as well. Cloudy or mainly cloudy skies. Again, high teens, low 20s for west central Saskatchewan. In the southwest, Maple Creek, one of those places that might see some of that shower activity and a risk of a thunderstorm. Otherwise, mainly cloudy skies and temperatures of around 20 degrees for Leader, Outlook, and Swift Current. 19 for Regina, 21 for Moose Jaw, 22 for Estevan, but York a little cooler, 17 degrees and cloudy skies. Cloudy conditions for Humboldt at 17 as well. 18 for Watrous, mainly cloudy in Melfort, 17, and 14 in Hudson Bay with cloudy skies. For Thursday in the Battlefords, first of all, overnight, a slight chance of showers, some fog patches, risk of a thunderstorm, a real combo platter there. 9 degrees and then 19 tomorrow, so just slightly below seasonal. 23, though, on Friday, 22 on Saturday. Sunday, 18 degrees, 22 on Monday and Tuesday, so a nice start to the work week. And 19 degrees with a chance of showers and a risk of a thunderstorm on Wednesday. Prince Albert's overnight temperature, 9 degrees with a slight chance of showers, some local smoke in the area, risk of a thunderstorm, and then mainly cloudy skies on Thursday with a high of 18 degrees into the mid to low 20s for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But as you can see, Tuesday and Wednesday comes with a slight chance of showers. And finally for Saskatoon, cloudy skies tonight, slight chance of showers, risk of a thunderstorm. But 19 degrees tomorrow, a couple of points below seasonal, but jumping back up to well above seasonal numbers on Friday. Nice temperatures for Saturday and Sunday, 19 on Sunday, 23 to start the work week and a chance of showers, and 22 on Tuesday, 21 1 week from today. The music and entertainment worlds are mourning the death of R&B singer Peabo Bryson. Bryson teamed up with Celine Dion on Beauty and the Beast and with Regina Belle on A Whole New World from Aladdin, with both tracks winning Grammys. They followed a decades-long career of hits, including Tonight, I Celebrate My Love, recorded with Roberta Flack. Bryson's family says he died this week at the age of 75 following a stroke. Jimmy Kimmel may be getting closer to walking off the stage for the last time. In a recent interview with Vulture, the 58-year-old admitted he feels a bit defeated following CBS's cancellation of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Kimmel says he wants freedom to pursue personal hobbies like fishing. This comes after ABC suspended Kimmel's show for 6 days last year following a controversial monologue. Kimmel's current contract is up next May. And Idris Elba is now a knight. King Charles knighted the actor, musician, and activist at a Windsor Castle ceremony yesterday for his services to young people. Elba and his wife, Sabrina Elba, founded a charity to support diaspora communities. And he's a goodwill ambassador to the King's Trust, which works to help vulnerable young people.
All right, Jeff, there is a way people can help feed Saskatchewan.
That's right, and have some fun at the same time. We know the demand at food banks is up right across the country, but that's certainly true here in Saskatchewan. A special event is coming up on June the 13th. It's called Feeding Saskatchewan. Amanda Getzlaff is one of the co-chairs of this event. So first of all, tell us a little bit about the event.
Yeah, so the event is going to be on June 13th, so next Saturday here at Prairieland Park. We are going to have a lot of great entertainment. We have a martial arts performance. Saskatoon Soaps is going to be on stage, along with a band, Sound City, along with a lot of great raffle prizes, silent auction, 50/50s, welcome drinks, the whole 9 yards. So make sure you guys come out.
Now, you're trying to raise a big number here, and this is the first time you've done this.
Yes, this is our first event. We plan to do it every 2 years, but this is our first one. We want to raise $50,000 for food banks in Saskatchewan and the Saskatoon Food Bank.
Okay, so obviously that's coming up soon. Get your tickets quickly. How do people get their tickets?
Yes, you can go to Eventbrite. You can also check out our website, feedingsas.ca. You can also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, as we include all of our sponsors and all the information about the event on there.
All right, and what time do things get underway on a Saturday, June 13th?
Yeah, 5 p.m. is when everything starts. And we also have a karaoke lounge that we just announced today, so that will be exciting as well. So we hope to see everyone there.
What do you want to sing with me?
I don't know if I'll be singing.
That's smart move on her part. I guess it's like, hey, no, Jeff, I know we're good without the duet.
Fair enough. All right, time for pick of the day. What do you have?
Well, we have a triple hit, all sort of outdoorsy. Let's take a look at this one. First of all, we get a few things from Charlotte, but this is we'll love this one. This is a beautiful sunset at Sled Lake, and that is a beautiful sunset. So thank you for sharing that with us, Charlotte. Next, we have one here from Darlene and Lori. This was sent in by Lori Schneider. This is a picture my friend Darlene Detbrenner took after the rain on June 1st as the sun was going down. Look at that rainbow, and it's over a school bus. Are you kidding me? That's like a Hallmark card. Okay, and finally from Gary, well, Kathy and Gary, they submitted this about 3 weeks ago before the recent wildfires, but I wanted to share this with you. We were treated to a water bomber practicing on Blackstrap Lake in front of our home. Truly a spectacular display, and we've got a second photo here, I believe, yeah, of it in action. So yes, it is a spectacular display, and we really want to thank the people who fly those planes and are so integral in fighting the wildfires that we're dealing with in our province. So thank you for that image, and thank you for your service. And if you'd like to send an image our way, we'd like to see it by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca, or you can scan the QR code on the screen, and that will get the picture coming our way.
Still to come on CTV News, a Saskatchewan woman tickles the ivories. The musical sensation taking Humboldt and area by storm. One Humboldt senior is enjoying life, playing music with friends and setting the tone for a band that she inspires. As Joan Jackson gets ready to celebrate her 98th birthday later this month, she's still sharing her love of music. Carla Shinkarek introduces us to the extraordinary woman.
It's a familiar sound at this Humboldt seniors residence. Joan Jackson playing one of her favorite ragtime songs.
A wonderful way to finish my life off. We're having a great time.
Jackson will turn 98 on June 28th and is visually impaired, now playing entirely from memory. Her friend sits by her side to help if needed.
I can't read music, but it seems to be in my head, so I can almost see the notes in my head when I'm playing. What's the next one?
She attained her grade 12 piano certificate and taught many students over the years.
Those were the best years of my life. I love the kids, yes.
She moved into this residence 4 years ago, joined the house band, quickly making an impact.
She's the strength beneath our group. She's the powerhouse. She's high energy, and she brought a little bit of polish to our group.
Most of the musicians in the band are in their 90s, with a few in their 80s, and at 75, Diane Connell is the youngest here.
She's the kindest, sweetest lady you could ever meet. Not a mean bone in her body, not one. She's always so encouraging with all of us.
Music has been part of Jackson's life for as long as she can remember. She learned to play from her father, whose advice has helped her now that she can't read the notes.
And I remember him saying, you know, you have to listen. To music, you have to listen.
Jackson has been playing piano for more than 90 years and seems to have found the key to happiness in the process.
Hard to describe, but everybody's happy when there's music.
The band practices regularly and performs for about 70 residents once a week. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Humboldt.
When we come back, the riders prepare for the season. And later, a group of residents receive Saskatchewan's highest honor.
Here's what's happening in our community. The Children's Festival of Saskatchewan returns to Kinsman Park in Saskatoon Thursday, June 4th through Sunday, June 7th. Please visit the website for all the details. On Sunday, June 7th, you're invited to join the Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis community for Saskatoon's Gutsy Walk to raise awareness and funds for research programs and advocacy. You can submit your community event by visiting our website, ctvsaskatoon.ca, and clicking on Community Calendar, or scan the QR code on your screen. Okay, time to take a look at the rural forecast for Thursday, and it looks like it's going to be a relatively calm day. We mentioned that earlier in the broadcast. Temperatures in the high teens, low 20s, 20 degrees from Meadow Lake and Kindersley and Outlook, 18 for Lloydminster and Spiritwood and Watrous. Just 14 degrees, though, for Hudson Bay, so a bit on the cool side in the Hudson Bay area, 14 degrees, 16 in Wynyard. Making our way down south, well, down the southwestern corner, we saw on the Futurecast there might be some of that active weather sliding into the southwest, and that looks like it's going to be the case for Maple Creek and East End, Cypress Hills areas. But temperature-wise, looks like temperatures are nicely into the high teens, low 20s for most locations. Assiniboia might see a little bit in the way of fog to go along with that. The early morning hours, it'll probably burn off in the afternoon. But just 16 for Kenora, 17 for Broadview, and 20 for Carlisle. And what about Govan? Well, it looks like it's going to be mainly cloudy and 19 there. And we've got ourselves winds out of the east at 10, so not much of a wind. So a relatively pleasant day in Govan. And that's one of the many places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
Welcome to another edition, the first edition of the 2026 X's and O's with Wes Cates. Wes, I would love to talk about a game, but the Riders have a bye to start the season. We got to wait till next week when they get the home opener against the BC Lions. So today we're going to discuss the decisions they had to make after training camp, the final cuts. Some interesting ones with them going over Connolly instead of Mario Anderson, who the average, he had double the average of Connolly, but I have a feeling that might be a blocking thing they made on that decision. And then they have 4 quarterbacks on the roster right now.
Yeah.
They might change it before game time, but if they played with the roster they have right now, you have 4 quarterbacks and 6 DBs and 6 O-lines. So what are your thoughts on what you saw when they made their final selections?
Yeah, I thought they saw so much out of Braden Shager. Welcome back, starting off the season. It's too bad we couldn't get a game out of this first week. Should have got more preference for the Riders being champs, but I digress. Obviously, Braden Shager played some great football. Up in Saskatoon, had the comeback after getting jabbed in the eye. And I think the Rider fans really rallied around him as a player. Obviously, Jack Cohn has been doing some good stuff and has been with the system a lot longer. So I think the coaches are just not ready to make that decision. And they just feel like, obviously, Tommy Stevens, being the premier short yardage quarterback in the league, got to keep him on the roster. Trevor Harris being your guy. So I think they just moved the roster around to kind of accommodate those guys. I think that actually Mario Anderson was a little bit too much like A.J. Ouellette, and I think that Quali Conley gives you a little different look, and I think he's got some more breakaway speed that I think entice the Riders management to keep him instead. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see. I don't think you're going to see 4 quarterbacks, a long time. This could be we'll make a decision, or even we're going to let one of these guys go and we know he might get picked up right away. So I like Shager. I'll say that right out if I make the decision now. So, but we'll see what the Riders do defensively, though. Any thoughts on how things are shaping up there?
Yeah, I think they've got a lot of D linemen. Some they left on the practice roster. Some guys. I think we got, definitely a couple of guys that I was kind of surprised. I wasn't sure. Jalen Pate got put on PR. Desmond Evans and Justin Weaver, the 2 guys that I think they're going to kind of give the first go at being that Russian star. And then they brought in a couple of vets from around the league to kind of shore up the D-line and make sure that there's some guys in there that know what they're doing. But I think they're just kind of trying to feel things out see how this D-line shapes up. I mean, obviously the D-line was lost the most, I would say, with Malik Carney going and getting big money in Edmonton, and obviously some other guys, Micah Johnson retiring, but also being a mind helping with the coaches, so that's great. But you just need some new horses, some new studs, and they're not sure who's going to kind of come out of the crop as that star D lineman is going to impact the game. So we'll give it a couple of weeks, but I think that D line position is going to change a lot in the first month or so. Yeah.
Give some people some opportunities. I like Evans with 6'6". I mean,
rangy.
That
Evans
rangy.
And Reaver.
I know you can't compare him to Jefferson because you can't do that to anyone because of the way Jefferson plays. But if he could come close to that, that would be great for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Don't worry. Next week we will talk strategy in football because the Riders will have a game. They will host the BC Lions in a rematch of the Western Final. We'll talk about that on another edition of X's and O's.
U Sports is adding women's flag football as a pilot sport for the 2027-2028 season. Since 2022, Football Canada has been organizing a national championship that features teams from players from universities and colleges across the country, 3 of whom are from Saskatchewan. With the sport being added to the 2028 Summer Games in Los Angeles, interest is expected to increase. Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon is $1.64.9 a litre. The lowest gas price is $1.55.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco dropped $7.34 today, and Nutrien finished the day at $95.69. Coming up, Saskatchewan celebrates some of its citizens. Then the Saskatchewan connection to America's Got Talent.
Select Hair Service is brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us. We've got another great night of television starting tonight at 7 with Master Chef. Well, 9 Saskatchewan residents were recognized with the province's highest honor last night. Lieutenant Governor Bernadette McIntyre handing out this year's Saskatchewan Order of Merit. The award recognizes citizens whose achievements have made a lasting impact in areas including agriculture, business, public service, the arts, research, and volunteerism. The recipients are selected by the Saskatchewan Honors Advisory Council through a nomination process. Among the recipients last night, 3 people from Saskatoon and 1 from Prince Albert.
It is an impressive list of not just provincially known people, but nationally, internationally known for all the works that they do, and to be counted among that select group is really, truly remarkable.
You strive so hard in life to be recognized for what you do, no matter what it is, but to be recognized by your home province is absolutely incredible. That's what it feels like to me.
300 orders of merit have been given out over the years, and that stretches 40 years. So congrats to everybody. Well, an Edmonton Acro group coached by Jill Ford, the daughter of former Riders player and GM Al Ford, impressed the judges on America's Got Talent. The performers from Supernova Acro Studio range in age from 7 to 21. There were even some special canine guests to make the performance more special. As you saw, host Terry Crews couldn't get enough of the act and hit the golden buzzer. They look fun to watch.
No kidding.
Hard to do, I'm sure.
I can't imagine. And clearly very flexible.
Yes. Yeah. Acro is hard. It's really cool to watch, though. So.
And there was dogs.
Yeah, some furry friends helping them out there.
There you go. So. It will not be raining cats and dogs tomorrow. See what I did there?
I see. Were we talking about cats, though? Oh.
No.
Okay.
13 degrees by 9 a.m., 12 and staying there at noon, and then warming up to about 17 mid-afternoon, 16 by 5 o'clock. And cloudy or mainly cloudy conditions and not particularly windy.
No. For once, I guess, eh?
Yeah, so it's a nice enough day shaping up.
Absolutely. And toward the weekend, it's going to be a little bit warmer, but not the temperatures we saw.
Yeah, exactly. It won't be crazy hot. It'll just be warm.
Roasty, but not toasty.
Exactly. Right. Now you're picking up on what I'm putting down.
Some days. I try. Some days are better than others.
I heard that my whole life.
Thanks for watching.